So, camera, figured out the situation last year. It should be working now. I did a couple tests, it will work. So,
what happened to it?
I was getting copyright infringement from some stuff, so, okay, good to know. Got it cleared up. Can't really post pictures of like the book and then expect it to be like fine and dandy for a while and like using other pictures. All right, we cleared that up. We're good now. So they wouldn't tell me that. I had to like bury myself through menu. Okay. I deleted a lot of videos. We're gonna be good. I'm about to show a picture of a book. Hopefully that doesn't get flagged again. All right, so sit. Sit. All right. Okay. After this, you guys got period 9, 12:58. Then you guys got your meetings in the afternoon. I'll get to that later. Here's your calc book. You're going to get this. It's pretty thin. It's about 1 inch thick. But single variable, multivariable calc is like calc 2 and calc 3. That's insanely difficult stuff. This stuff is more of a continuation of pre-calc. So we'll do a lot of review, and then we just kind of move on from there. So we will do a lot of review. It's not I'm throwing you in the deep end right away. We will review stuff because you clearly forgot over the summer, and some stuff maybe you just didn't have well the first time. So like we're going to cover that. Okay, somebody lock the door.
Well, come on, man.
I'd go good.
All right.
I like your shoes.
Thank you.
Was no.
Yes, there. Okay. There he is. All right. Okay. All right. So, I didn't delete the slide. There you go. One quick thing I was going to bring this up for. I don't care. They call me Ward, Coach, or whatever. If administration's in here for because I'm a model teacher. If they're in this room, they see me in the hall, you have to call me Mr. It's a super pet peeve for them. Keeping that in mind, like Mr., Mrs., Ms. for all those other teachers. That was a big thing they stressed at one of our meetings. So I'm just warning you that right now, if they're in here, remember, call me Mr. Ward. It doesn't offend me, it offends them greatly. Assistant girls basketball, so if any girls in here that wants to go out for basketball, so you're saying any girls. So go out for basketball. Okay. Student council, you guys are seniors. If you're on it, congrats. Moving on. All right.
Are you on that?
Because you can't go on it next year. All right. Unless you want to, 6 years senior or 5th year. All right. Background, graduated from Ventura 2001. Yeah, I'm old. Iowa State, got a bachelor's of mathematics and minor in psychology. And coaching certified, coached everything except for.
And you looked at the stars for a while.
Yeah, did astronomy for a long time, did sciences. Okay, class materials, these are non-negotiable. These have to be in, don't even ask me at the doorway, these have to be with you every single day. It's just because this class is, imagine, all right, so if you think back to geometry days, remember the gap between geometry and algebra 2, like the level of difficulty that gap was. It's very similar from like pre-calc to calc. I do my best to like alleviate that, and you guys know my style of how I do it. I tried the best to like curve our way into there slowly, and then you'll hit that plateau or you sink or swim basically. But I do my best where you get there and you're like, okay, I think I can handle this. There's a couple things I'm not getting, but we'll eventually figure them out. So these are non-negotiables. Pencil, pen if it's erasable, but pencil preferably. Textbook with book cover, yes. We have no online version for this one. There's not even a link unless you guys can find one like
That's
I did
what you
last
said
year.
last year.
So, well, you guys found a link. I didn't know. So yeah, I didn't even know there was a link on there. So we don't pay for that. So that's one of those things. Like I can't give that website out unless you guys find it and share it with each other. All right. But textbook with book cover. You guys are gonna get books on Monday. This is where your guys' homework will be at the bottom. Book covers. It'll be due by Thursday next week. But you'll get books on Monday. So just keep that in mind. They're like 2-year-old books. They're super nice books. Most of them have a book cover on them, but I think I have up to like 14 books that are covered. So one of you might have to, or a few might have to actually get some of your own book covers, unless you want one. Because I had a couple of people last year, they wanted their own book cover. They wanted to put their own on there, so I'm fine with that. What?
I want math.
Okay. So, notebook paper, you do need it. We'll go through a lot of paper. It's one of those things like, it's not as excessive as maybe as like a geometry days, but you do need a dedicated notebook because the stuff is just at a different level compared to everything else. Calculator, still the same ones. I prefer these. You don't need the big fancy graphing ones. Because if we're going to graph anything, we're going to go online anyways and use like Desmos. So these are fine. If you already have one, they're fine. Right now, if you want to go buy a calculator, these are $8 at Target right now. They're half off. So like that's Target and Walmart. I think they're offering it. This week is back to school. that's the time to buy it, no joke, they're $8. Normally they're like 15 or something like that. So, go get one. Chromebook, bring it, because there's days where we will research things online. Way too late, it's fine. All right, you're actually front row, sorry. Put you right in the front. All right, but textbook, here it is. This is the book you're getting. Again, it's pretty small, it's really thin, it's almost, oh, I see what you're doing. We'll just get past it real quick. It's $174, 5 days going to Amazon. Because it's brand new. If you damage it, spill water on it, break it for some reason, I don't know how that would happen because it's thin. I will replace it that day, you're going to have to pay me for it. Like, I'm not waiting till the end of the year to do it, you have to replace it right then and there. So keep that in mind. 754 pages, even though it's really thin. It's probably one of my smallest textbooks I have. It's got 11 chapters, leave them in there. And here's the chapters we cover. And we don't go in order, you guys know the drills from like pre-cut days. I bounce around a lot, we don't do every section. We do certain parts. And there's some days that we're outside the book. There's one chapter in particular, it's not even in the book, because we have to cover it. So, keep that in mind.
Why is it in the middle?
They didn't cover it. It's more covered in like pre-calc, so we just cover it. So, all right, calculators. Here you go. $5 one from Dollar General and Walmart. Perfect. That monstrosity, don't buy it. It's $200.
I just ordered that.
You cannot use this in high school or college. They ban it from everything. It's $200. You could literally buy a used iPad, download the Texas Instrument app that will do everything this thing can for free. The Texas Instrument app is free. You can do everything this thing can and still have an iPad instead of this stupid thing that all it can do is calculate. $10 from Walmart Target. Perfect. It's got a bunch of fancy buttons. Don't buy this thing. This thing is the calculator that they actually require in Calc 1 in college. Because in college, you have to be able to graph, like for tests and stuff, and so they require you to actually have that. So like if you go to like Iowa State, this is the calculator they will tell you to buy. It's $140. I do not require that. It's stupid amount of money, and because we can just use online versions. And if we have to graph something by hand, we already will be reviewing the rules for how to graph stuff. So you should not need to go online or to use something like that. Classroom expectations. These are it. You guys know the drill. It's got to be quiet, not pin drop. I like the banter every now and then, but we got to respect our classmates. Leave the drama outside the classroom in case you have a problem with a classmate or you have issues outside the school. Because my day or my portion of your life is like this big. I understand you have a real world outside of this room, but leave that stuff outside the door. Now, if you do need to talk to somebody like personally, or you need to see an advisor or a counselor or something, like something's going on in your life, I understand that. I respect that. We'll set a time, go talk to them, but try to leave therapy session away from this class, okay? Or if you're in the bathroom, like, not to pick on you or anything like that, but if you're in the bathroom a lot, save the bathroom breaks for a different class period. Don't do it every day, because it does become habitual. I know people are like on a schedule, switch it up. Don't use my classroom every single day. But this is the problem, or not a problem. This is what you need to focus on right now, on these forward. Taking responsibility, challenging yourself, trying every day, like you're actively like participating, like trying to learn how to do some of the stuff we talk about here. Because it can be over the top sometimes, like in terms of difficulty. Because calc is reserved for an engineer or somebody that's going into like a math field or a science type of field, like pharmaceuticals or something like that, where we talk about stuff that is so over the top and how to use some of this stuff that it seems like pointless, but it's for a purpose if you're going into that upper level type of education or career, I should say. But challenge yourself. Don't be afraid. Like, you don't have to get it day one, but let's try to ask those questions to get that ball rolling a little bit. Don't just check out. Mr. X points, you guys see it. They're on these like posters that are in the school. Be here, be on time. It's period 8. You shouldn't be late. Especially like if the bell already goes off and you walk in. Not today. I'm tempting that. But if the bell goes off and you walk in, that's 10 minutes detention. Like, you should be in here before that bell goes off. If you're, let's say, I don't see you, but you went to the bathroom, you were in there for 20 minutes, and then you came in. It's 20 minutes plus 10. So you have a 30-minute detention. Because you have to come in here. You have to be here, be on time, because we're going. Okay? What?
It's with you, or in the
That's me.
detention room?
That's with me. Do right, do your best. Those things are pretty obvious. Just try your best in here, and then be yourself. Okay, I like the quirky personalities. I like that we have banter every now and then. But remember, respect each other enough that we can be ourselves. but we're still doing the right thing when we're walking. We're trying to learn something. It may not be math that day, it might be something else, but it's something we're trying to focus on, okay?
That's
All right, classroom policies, disruptive behavior is not tolerated, because this class is hard, especially when you got like, 20 kids talking, right? This can be tough, and you got people talking you can't hear, and this thing is still frustrating you enough that you can't figure it out. You can't see the shortcut behind it. So try to keep that disruptive behavior out. If I have to do a removal, that's fine. But if there's drama in your life, that's the time when you need to talk to somebody else. Maybe that's the appropriate time to go talk to a counselor or something. Because I understand you have a real world outside this room. Homework expected to be completed before next class. That's the same as always before. I put the assignments up here, due dates. Get it done on the due date. Like when you walk in here, it's done. Now, I'm going to turn in after school today. It's period 8. You don't have an after school. You're at the end of school. You need to get it turned in. Okay. Sign the textbook. They're individually numbered. You can't replace it unless you're going to buy a new one. Seating arrangement, that will eventually go away because you guys are upperclassmen. Cell phones, not allowed. Every time you walk in, you guys actually do one in the shower today. Put it in the back caddy. You guys know it. Don't make it an issue. I don't want it in your hoodie. I don't want it on you. Unless you talk to me ahead of time, like you have something going on, I understand that. You got cell phone, like you got a call coming in, maybe you got something. That's not, if you got your cell phone, just leave it on me for right now. What do you do?
I got to so.
Okay. Cell phones, put it back there. Now, if it becomes a distraction, like a smartwatch, put that in the back caddy. It becomes a distraction. Some people are fine with it. Like they can just ignore it. But disconnecting, like this actually ends up being like an addiction for people. It causes radiation. Like it is an actual thing that can cause problems. So get it off yourself for at least, one period a day. That'd be fine. Disabilities, challenges, you gotta let me know, okay? You guys know the drill. I'm severe hard of hearing, like it's bad, to the point where I sometimes can't hear anything from somebody. Like that tone just doesn't resonate with me. If you have a combination that needs to be made with you, just let me know. Maybe you forgot your glasses, maybe you got a migraine, something like that. You have to let me know. Don't wait until 3 weeks down the line. Like I can't even see from the back, or my sight is going. I'm trying different level of prescription on glasses, or something else is going on medically. You don't need to tell me the details. Just say like something's going on. Can I be moved here? So just make sure that's counted. And then cheating. In here, this, I know I'm not an idiot. I know there's Slater and there's other websites. Don't cheat in here. You got to actively be trying to do every problem. Because I pick those problems for the test. You guys know how I pick my test questions. But it's one of those things like if your team Xerox, like Bell's doing his homework and everyone's copying that, it's apparent when we get to the first test and you're getting 100% on all your homework, and then you get to the test and you score 50. Like that's a big red flag to me. Like you're cheating. Using Slater, like I like Slater. Slater's a nice website. Like whoever put it together, kudos to them. They did a nice job. Where you can check what your answer is. Like that's kind of a nice thing. Like I want to know how I did number 4. Did I do it even right? But if you're just going on the Slater and going, okay, that's my problem number 1. There's my problem number 2. Like just kind of like now you're cheating. Now you're at that point where you're not even actively like working that brain muscle. It's too much to handle. Too bad. You chose to be in this upper level math class. So keep that in mind. Like you're the elite of the elite, and you've already made it past that breaking point in school where you know how to handle yourself and you know how to get through tough material. So I shouldn't have to worry about that, I guess. Homework policies: 2 to 3 assignments a week, 2 minimum. 10 to 15 problems. Yeah, I said 10 to 15, not 10 to like 30 like we did in geometry days or pre-calc, because these can be way more challenging. Like there's more things to do. I might have different things that the book does not ask for because there's things that we have to check off for calc. We'll do lots of handouts and worksheets as opposed to like pre-calc days, because there's certain things the book just does not cover very well. But expect that. I'll be using the website for worksheets and stuff quite a bit, and now that I've figured out the video situation, we're good to go. Late work policies. This is now a change. This is not my doing. This is not me like putting my foot down. This is a school-wide policy, right? Homework in my room can still be redone, right? You can still do an assignment. You don't like your score, make fixes, turn in. You guys know the drill. I still accept that. But here's the new kicker. Homework cannot be turned in after 10 days. That's not my policy. That is the school policy for late policy. It's not, you can't wait till the end of the midterm and turn in 50 assignments. the school's policy is 10 days, and after 10 days, it's forever a 0. Like they now, like before you couldn't get a 0, you had to do it. They now just take 0s after 10 days now. Like there's a hard deadline.
That's rough, dude.
That's rough for some people. Like that's gonna wreck some people. Like they were banking on that.
Like me.
Yeah, so it doesn't work anymore. So here's the idea, 10 days. Now it's whatever comes sooner, 10 days or the end of midterm or end of quarter. So keep that in mind. So if the end of quarter comes before 10 days, it's due on the end of quarter. So keep that in mind. I always try to stress my due dates, you guys know the drill. But since we have such a hard deadline, and that's a new like school-wide policy, it's not mine, that's like a school pick. What I'm gonna do is after a day or two late, I'm texting and emailing and you can call your parents. Like, this is late. And it's gonna happen every assignment now. The reason why is that if this is a 10-day deadline, your parents are gonna know about it. And they're gonna know that you still owe me something.
After 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. Like, this person owes me this. So, it's one of those things because I can't go past 10 days. It's not like one of those things like end of midterm or, you know, you could work on it for a few days and like, oh, just turn in, you know, we'll make fixes on it. It's such a quick turnaround that I have to warn you. Because it's not 10 school days, it's 10 calendar days. So that includes weekends.
So you're saying if I don't turn in an assignment on Friday, you're gonna call my parents on Sunday and tell them that it's been 2 days?
No. So I would be calling Monday or Tuesday if you did not turn it in. But the 10 days when it's due is like, now you're already on day 4, technically, but even though it's two calendar days. So 2 school days, I should say. So you're on day 4 now. Question.
What parent do you call?
I'm calling both if I can't get a hold of one.
Well, like,
Who's more ferocious, your mom or dad? Because I know where your mom works.
I would say my mom's way more ferocious.
So dad it is, okay.
No, my mom.
Oh, okay. I'll call them both. All right. Test quizzes, you can still retake a test quiz once, every test once. I do give you the better of the 2 scores. You still have to do that thing where you come in and we work through like the parts you missed. For homework and tests, I prefer that if you're gonna redo them, like you're gonna make fixes, within like a week. Don't wait, because last year, like some people were waiting too long, because I know there's like things going on and stuff, but if you wait too long, you'll start forgetting stuff, and then your test scores will be worse than what you first originally had. So I prefer that you get better scores, that's what I'm preferring. So try to get it done in a timely manner. But I don't mind that you're retaking. That's a good policy. I like the initiative behind it, but try to do it in a timely manner. If we're gonna do quizzes, or like pop quizzes, you can't retake those, it's what you know that day. I'm not the person that does a 5-point check thing, I don't do that, you guys know the drill. But if we do a pop quiz, usually I give you telltale signs of doing it, I usually cough a bunch and post on the website. And so there's little spots where I start posting, I tell your parents at parent-teacher conferences. So, all right, test and grade policies. 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s. Each category, again, how do you do that? Just take your score divided by what the total was.
Where's the F?
F is anything below 60. So, still the 40-40-20 rule. We still have the semester test. It's still 20% of your grade. We still do 5-day review leading up to it. You guys know the drill. We still do a 2-day review leading up to every test. But this year, it's one of those things like you need to really be on the ball. It's not one of those things like I don't want you to glaze through all the sections, and when we get to review day, that's when you start learning how to do it. Like, this is a tough this is a tough class that you have to be on it. You know, you have to be like actively trying to work it, like how does this stuff apply? How do I use it correctly, and how does a formula work, as if we have formulas on certain things. Because it's one of those things like, it can be daunting, because we're mixing pre-calc and we're doing more stuff on top of it. So it's one of those things like, the steps can be lengthy. So, gradebook still the same 3 categories, it still do the same rules. 55% of your grade is still homework, 40% is still tests and quizzes, 5% participation. If you don't turn in homework, you know, we get to those 10 days and you're getting a lot of 0s, your parents probably already know about it, but you're not gonna pass this course. Because 55%, you're below an F, you're not passing. If you're failing your tests and quizzes, you're below 60, you're failing. I make this fail safe, like I've done this enough years, I know where the breaking point is. You have to do stuff to pass this course. If you're actively participating, you'll be fine. Because I don't want you to worry about the grading here. If you're redoing assignments, you're retaking a test, you're gonna be fine. Because I spoon feed you enough where you know how to do stuff. But you can't come in here every day and just expect to just know it. You have to work at it. Last year's class did a nice job. Like, they worked hard at it. Like, some of those kids are really smart, but they didn't, you didn't see behind the scenes. They worked hard at Calc to figure it out. And they worked together a lot on homework and stuff to figure out like, this is the shortcut that Word isn't telling us until I tell them later on.
Or they were on Slater.
Yeah, that too, so. It happens, all right? I'm not an idiot, I understand how that works, but. All right, but there you go. Website, still the same, mrword.org, ghvmath.com. I've already done test runs, the website does, or the videos do work, so we should be good to go. Let me pull this up. So the website, here it is. Still pretty much the same. Order of the classes have changed on how they're displayed here. This is, again, this lesson planner is just what day we're on. So if it's Friday, these are all Friday stuff. Monday, I'll have these all changed out for Monday, what our outline's gonna be. It won't be the exact, but it'll be kind of a rough outline. But,
Did you take that picture, Mr. Ward?
what?
For the books?
Yeah, I really did. And I
Nice. That
did
looks really
Photoshop.
good.
Did Photoshop to make sure the color showed.
How'd you get them to stand up like that?
So, they fell off many times. But,
Since when do you teach algebra?
this year, picked it up this year.
Well,
Algebra is the
I have
best.
to just teach one section of it. There's too many sections,
I
so.
love it.
But you still have 5 classes to teach.
I taught 9 at Venture, 9 preps,
Well,
6th grade to
because-
the senior year, every class.
Dude, it's because it's Ventura. There's like
Yeah.
10 students a class.
Yeah, it really was. But that means there's only one section of each. So, all right, now for you guys, you can click Calc, you can click the homework, you can click the picture. Whatever you click, it'll take you right to here. It'll have the outline roughly. It'll have whatever the assignment is. If we're doing PowerPoints, we don't do a lot of PowerPoints in here. I'll be honest, we just don't for Calc. It's more of just hands-on stuff. This year, I want to take pictures of people's notes. So if you have really good penmanship, I didn't do a lot of that last year. I want to do that this year because this is insanely hard. So like having pictures of notes would be really helpful for some people. And then I'll still do the videos and they'll pop up down here. So figure that out, should be fine, got everything ironed out now. But they'll be in the daily lessons here at the top, so if you don't want to scroll down like what I did earlier, you can just go to the daily lessons. I'm not even clicking, it just pops up and go down to Calc. This will be where all the videos show up and all the daily lessons are dated. If we move on to chapter 2 or whatever chapter we move on to next, that'll be here, I'll be above it, so I'll just move them down. And it'll have a carousel, we'll have links over here where you can spin the carousel and go to whatever class you need. Archive is previous years. Second semester for Calc it doesn't show up because they were flagged a lot. So figured out the situation there. That took some figuring out the summer. So
How'd you figure it out?
I had to go through menus and I got a couple of flags for copyright, so they just wouldn't appear anymore. So then I had to delete videos, and then they were fine. Google's fine with that. And I had to add a couple ads to certain videos. And the ones that were flagged were, I had a couple videos where I showed a textbook that was flagged. And then not like the cover, it was like showing pictures of the textbook, like the page on the inside. And then I got flagged on a basketball video because it had music in it. So
Over 30 seconds.
That was like, because it was during halftime and they were playing music. So I got dinged like multiple times. So they just took down out the video, but they don't tell me. I still keep uploading, but nothing appears. So.
They get you there, and they make you look like a fool.
So figure that out. So it's all corrected. I did a couple test runs to make sure they would actually show up. So some of those videos were ridiculous. So some I had to post just to make sure it was working. All right, but there you go. The website works. So it's mrword.org or GHV Math. I'll still post everything to James C. Lesson Planner. Everyone likes that. I still did that last year. All the notes were still in James C. Lesson Planner. Even the website, I think.
What about HS Math though?
Yeah, that one's still there. There's a bunch. I have a bunch of different ones. So it was just because they're prime like HS Math.org is like one of those top links that people click on, like when you type in high school, like it appears. So
So what people go to your website.
yeah, you had like 2,000 hits a month. There's people like
Those are all me though.
No, there's like people from like Texas and California like watching the videos like, what are you doing? Like some person taking a high school class trying to figure out math. So I'm pretty proud of that. So no ads. I don't collect any revenue from that stuff. So shouldn't appear or anything. If they do, let me know. I shouldn't have any ads on any.
Why don't you want money?
Because it's against the law. I can't do that. So I have to know if like there's like ads on there and stuff because I can't collect any revenue because I'm getting paid by the school. That's double dipping. I can get in trouble. That's an ethical thing with the Board of Education. So that's why I'm very particular on the way I do things. Like I have to be very cautious of that. So but yeah. So Questions, concerns? Pretty easy. We're gonna start hot and heavy on Monday. We'll get books and then we're gonna start notes and we're gonna start reviewing pre-calc stuff.